Hey, welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, so roles could be reversed, flip it, switch it, twist it. Just interpret the message as best resonates for you. Never force anything. That's the rule. Just know that sometimes part of the reading is going to resonate with you, part of the reading might resonate with your person. It's always the perception from the most dominant energy that normally unfolds. And the most dominant energy happens to be the person that's the most obsessive, the person that's usually worrying about it the most, thinking about it the most, generating a lot of emotional energy, especially with my readings, because here at the Psychic Soul Healer Oracle channel, I look into karmic themes, spiritual blocks, karmic lessons about what type of relationship this actually is. Is it a karmic mate? Is it a trauma bond relationship? Or is it a twin flame relationship? Again, all these soul relationships represent something different. And looking at a person's triggers and psychological blocks allows us to handle the situation the best we can, because we're not taking things personally. We're able to dive real deep into a situation, so we can actually determine what would be the best thing to do to handle a situation so that we don't inherit the most negative karmic outcomes, right? Because again, every situation is karmic, and karmic is not good or bad, but we tend to associate karma with bad. But karma just means learn. But if we're in a relationship that we think is a soulmate twin flame and is a trauma bond, well, you're not going to get the same results. If you're taking how someone is acting as an attack because they're malicious, well, it's a lot different than if a person is just unconsciously unaware. How we decide to handle that person or whatever situation is going to be different. And that's what I hope to bring to the table here on this channel, to allow you to see how best to deal with your situation. I do look at the storyline as well. Now, if you're new to the channel, anything that you need to know of any relevance to this channel, you find in the description box. If you resonate with the video and you'd like to win a free reading, all you need to do is like, subscribe, and then write the word healer in your comment bar. Okay, those three things automatically get you into entering into winning a free psychic reading. Okay, at the end of each week, I tend to go back and see who wrote the word, and then I wait for them to contact me after I write the word winner, because after I write the word winner, I usually also specify to contact me again by reaching out to me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com. All right. Now, and if you don't want a reading and you still resonate with this, please consider giving me a like, because it helps me grow the channel. Okay. Now, without further ado, this message is again going to be for Scorpio. Look what just popped out. Virtue. Right? Virtue. Automatically, what I'm feeling is that someone is perceiving you to have very high morals. The way that you hold yourself, Scorpio, the way that you present yourself, how people perceive you. And believe me, I feel like people are looking to find something, but you just have good character, because really virtue is a character trait. It's one where your morals and your values are in alignment with the laws of God, the laws of love, the laws of nature. Again, when we have high virtue. And I believe the person that is thinking this of you is some sort of a soul relationship. Don't know yet what kind, but I'm feeling like they do not have the same energy vibration as you do. This is why they're able to tell that you have high moral because of the contrast. And the reason why, as I said, that's what I felt in the dark night of the soul, um, is when we go through an experience, and it's usually not one experience, but it's usually one major experience that makes us look at a series of other experiences that have the same karmic theme. It's a place when when we're here, we're saying to ourselves, how did I get here? How did I get this in this situations? Because it's usually when someone's going through a divorce, when there's some big abrupt change, and it's not a pleasant change. There's a dark night of the soul leads us into ourselves. So again, I feel as if you were connected to someone that didn't have high morals. Their character was not, again, in alignment with a high vibration. Okay, they didn't have high morals. So what would that look like? So this would be someone that didn't have a problem cheating, didn't have a problem lying, didn't have a problem just being selfish and never looking out on how they treated other people. They kind of felt that they were better than other people. And I feel as if you don't live your life that way, that you're a spiritual being that tends to look at things again from a very spiritual perspective, not good or bad, but just experiences are just that. And that you try not to put people in good or bad circumstances, that you don't judge people. And because you were so friendly and non-judgmental and more of a spiritual person, this person didn't hold you in high regard. They kind of took you for granted. And now they're finding themselves in the dark night of the soul. And they're again looking at you. So I'm also feeling like you were in separation from your person. That you are in separation from this person, which again, you could have been also part of what led them into the dark night of the soul. I don't feel you were the only thing. I feel as if the way that they were living, so they might be attached to a karmic. They might be working with a bunch of people that are karmic, like teaching them. They could be family members, but those people are using your person's energy more than your person is using their energy to design their life. They were living more from, again, a lower perspective, which has brought them into this dark night of the soul. Again, synthesis. And now I feel like your person was going through, they're not showing that they're going through a dark night of the soul. So I feel like they're in autopilot. They're just going through the day and able to go to work and then just come home, but they're keeping to themselves. They're not happy. They're not happy with their life, and they're not trying to think of you. However, synthesis is almost like seeing the signs and the synchronicities of the universe, of spirit speaking to your person. So they're seeing you everywhere. Unconsciously, they're seeing you everywhere. They get in the car, they turn on the radio, they hear the song, it reminds them of you. They bump into somebody that is a friend of yours. It's like everything reminds them of you. They turn on the TV, everyone's name is your name. Like that, it's the synchronicities, the synthesis. So your person knows that they're supposed to be with you. But it was a series of a bunch of other events that have broken down your person's ego, that has made them have to take a look at their life. And part of that, you are in there and how they treated you. And then the type of person you are, opposed to the type of person that they are. Like a come to Jesus moment, I feel like. Okay, this is when this card is out, I always say, if I don't take it out, there are no mistakes. So I use that card as no identity. I use this card as like, again, it's a Joker card. It could be anything that you want. So in this context, it would be a person that can be a chameleon, a person that can become anything that you want. So again, why do people have a low self-esteem? Well, they have a low self-esteem and their character is bad due to the fact that they have a low self-esteem, right? And so when we don't have an identity, we don't really feel that connected to people, and we definitely don't have a connection to God or spirit or anything of anything that could connect us on a whole to humanity, right? Because when we're talking about God, God lives inside of everyone as love, and what connects you to this divine universal energy is to be able to give and receive of love through your free will, through what you choose to do, through what you're passionate about. And your person isn't doing anything that they're passionate about. They don't like their life. Now, they might have done something that they were passionate at a time, but now I feel like they've outgrown who they are. And the dark night of the soul is kind of brought them to this, because like they said, the dark night of the soul tends to make us look at what got us to this place, to this dismal place. Like, we don't volunteer to go into a dark night of the soul. It's a process of a bunch of things that happen in our life that are tower moments. So destructive endings that create trauma a lot of times too. So it could be a divorce, it could be, the end of a job. Your person's identity, a core belief of their identity is falling away when we go through a dark night of the soul. A dark night of the soul humbles us and makes us look at ourselves. And your spread, Scorpio, opened up with virtue, which is that you hold that vibration. I don't believe that your person knew even the difference between high vibration, low vibration. They were just mainly, it was all about them. They never thought about anyone else. And that tends to just happen through the way that we were raised and maybe not venturing out into the world. So it doesn't really show or feel that they're a bad person. What it feels like is that, again, they just were very selfish, lived from a very low, a low vibrational perspective, and they actually are looking now and seeing how you are, and are able to see the difference and realizing that they have feelings, obviously, because the synthesis and the signs everywhere, is a realization. But like I said, I don't feel like your person had good character. So part of not having good character is being phony, being surface, breadcrumbing, talking to a lot of people, and why I say that is your person was getting a lot of emotional attention. People were coming up to them, talking to them. They didn't care who was talking to them, just as long as they were getting attention. It's very surface. This is where they were, I believe, when you met them. And they know that you see that about them. So I'm also feeling like they have shame. So healing, a lot of times, know this, it's like peeling an onion. That's what it is. So especially when we're in the dark night of the soul, we're seeing a chain of events. And then there's also a chain of different emotions. So it could be, first I got angry, I got triggered. So let's pull for triggered instead of the wounds. So first I got triggered. So what happened with your person that they got triggered? That you're in separation, obviously, from your person, because your person's going through a dark night of the soul. Now we'll look and actually see what's going on in the storyline, but this is the underlying energy, spiritual energy that's influencing your reading. And we look at this because we want to look and see what the healing would need to be on both parties. We want to see how to transmute the negative energy and turn this into a positive karmic experience, which we can do that. We'll have the power to shape shift our situations due to what we know, on the information we know, and again, the appropriate action to take. So the trigger. Past. I had a hard time letting go of the past and the fears associated with this. So they manifested in chaos in this relationship. So again, I believe that your person is commitment phobic. Like I said, always had one foot in, one foot out, was a player, had only considered about themselves. But the reason why it's saying is because of a past relationship. They have commitment issues. So they're still carrying around all that baggage. So we would know that they would have to heal that. Gaslighting. I felt out of touch with my reality because everything I knew was being deflected. I woke up and saw the truth. I feel like your person was gaslighted by the person that they were connected to. Your person was always commitment phobic. A lot of people are. And so, but understand, people are commitment phobic a lot of times because relationships are codependent, where your person doesn't like to feel trapped and doesn't like to feel obligated and doesn't like to feel. And I'm feeling actually also that your person's an empath and they tend to get guilted very easily. And so I believe your person lived this phony facade for a long time, again, which is living mainly from their ego. And they were okay with it because of their past. They didn't want to get emotionally connected to someone because it happens and it happens continuously. So they were still connected to someone that's gaslighting them. And so I feel that someone was gaslighting them, then they would try and gaslight you because they're connected to someone from their past or because of their past. Again, so even if they're not with the person from their past, it's like they're still with that person from the past, if that makes sense. And the reason why is because they've never healed and integrated the trauma. That's what I'm getting at. So how did it, and I feel like, again, that you also got gaslighted. You got hurt because they haven't healed from their past. Withdrawn. You felt triggered when you withdrew emotionally. I didn't know what was going on and I panicked. And I feel like, again, your person always had one foot in, one foot out. Every time the relationship gets comfortable, they can't help but to sabotage the relationship. And then when you would talk about it, they again would gaslight you, making it like it's a big deal, and then they would withdraw instead of communicate. So it did trigger you because it triggered your abandonment issues. But your person, again, the way that they deal with their wounds is that they don't. So it's like they may be in a relationship with you, but they're still in a relationship with the past person because they're carrying around all those traumas. And the truth of the matter is that your person, and this is the most important part, which intuitively I just, again, was called to say this, but I almost forgot, is that your person is connected to someone that they know that your person does not have feelings for them. They spend an awful lot of time gaslighting and manipulating the environment to keep that person stuck in shame, stuck in guilt, and stuck in the past, where your person never evolves. And so what's happened is they have to check out. So they have feelings for you because you can't turn on and off love. You can't turn it on. We're not in control of it. But the problem is that your person isn't acting on it. So they're not giving to you at all. They're still attached to that person. even though that person they know is gaslighting them and whatever. So you say, what keeps it in place? And it's shame and guilt, because your person doesn't love them and hasn't, and it shows. And it shows when you're with a person that is continuously holding everything together, making the relationship work. Your person's on autopilot. Like I said, that's really like what I felt. It's like they're on autopilot, and they're living more from this lower perspective, but they're in a dark night of the soul. Possibly because they don't really know how to heal. They don't know how to process their feelings. Like they're so torn. When I tap in, I feel that they need so much healing that they feel all different feelings. Like within, like, let's just say an hour, they think of their past relationship, or they think about, oh, it's lonely tonight. And they might start to think, well, it's nice lonely. And then 5 minutes later, they'll be like, I'm lonely. Why am I lonely? If it wasn't for that person that did X, Y, and Z, I wouldn't be lonely. And then they feel sorry for themselves. Then they get angry. Then they get stuck in the story of what happened. So they feel all different emotions because they haven't worked through any of their traumas. So this is what happens when a person gets triggered, right? What we don't know how to heal, what do? We escape. We escape into outside things. We withdraw. We isolate. So again, that's not a good way to process your emotions. So your person will always stay in the past, and that is what the person that's connected to them is trying to do. Or again, the relationship has transpired and your person is keeping themselves locked in. And it's because they were in a situation where someone gaslighted them, made them feel guilty, made them feel like everything was their fault, made them feel like, but at any given time that person that's connected to your person could have left, could have did things to make things different, but chose not to, but then is blaming your person. And your person was just trying to accommodate that person while still not live a miserable life themselves. And I think you, Scorpio, just were someone that they caught feelings for that they didn't really expect to catch feelings for. It wound up being a soul's relationship. So it's like they didn't know what to do with it. Distracted. Check out of reality, suffering from overwhelm, ask for help. So this is what I was saying. Distracted, like checking out of reality, like your person's going through the motions, they're withdrawn. So yeah, they can do this. They can be in a relationship with someone that they don't really want to be with, but they're not happy. They're lonely. I feel like they learn to accommodate everyone in the situation, but now they cannot, accommodate everyone. Meaning they can't accommodate themselves. Like, because whoever is connected to them is monopolizing all their time, all their energy, and kind of just, again, gaslighting the situation to keep your person put. Consumed. Like, no emotional space available, intense and overwhelmed. Release the drama. So again, consumed, and that's what I felt like. If your person is connected to someone that is like consuming all their time. But the problem is that the longer that your person is away from you, they're consumed with you. That's because it's, again, your person is trying not to think of you. They can't help because you can't control love. However, the person that's connected to them is so consumed with, controlling your person, making sure that your person doesn't stray, making sure that your person is giving to them and only them, and just monopolizing all their time, but guilting them, manipulating them, that your person doesn't even know what they feel anymore because they're an empath. So they're so overstimulated. And excuse me. And I just feel like they started to realize, and thing is, the more that the person that's connected to them does this, the more that your person does not, is checking out of reality, is checking out, is like they're in daydream land. Just because they're going through the motions and they're going through autopilot, their brain is checked out. And the person that's connected to them can feel this. And so the person that's connected to them is getting very emotional and is trying to like gaslight them and manipulate them more and trying to like control everything to the point that your person is starting to think about you all the time, because that's how they're withdrawing, that's how they're checking out. So again, their body is there, it would again going through the motions, but their mind and their emotional body is with you, which this is consuming the person that's attached to them, because it's like they can't understand how. I feel like this has been going on, this relationship that your person has been in with this person that they're connected to, that they're in a karmic, a trauma bond relationship, or it's almost like a karmic contract. And that's when we sign up to be in a relationship with someone that's going to teach us multiple lessons. And I feel like your person would need to get a sense of their own identity. They'd have to break away free from this person, number one, because they're so confused. They're an empath. They're picking up on this person's energy. So they're confused. That's number one. So they're paralyzed. They just know that they're not happy. So this is also what happens when we get into the fight, flight, or freeze. We withdraw, we check out, again, because we go numb. This is what's happened with your person. And the person connected to them is gaslighting them, playing them, doing everything. They're all consumed in this. But the more that their person manipulates, the more that your person is seeing what they're up to and is checking out and is becoming more connected to you, because you're a free spirit. You don't do any of this. I feel like, Scorpio, you have a very high vibration virtue. So I feel like some of you guys might be spiritual people, maybe again, even advisors in your community, coaches, some sort of, where you help people and you have friends and you live very different from this person. So again, this trauma bond past relationship that your person's connected to is, I feel like is going to come to an end. But due to the fact that the person that's connected to them is getting more and more and more and more crazy, because you can't control love. You can only guilt someone so long. So I want to see what actually your person, like what happened with you and your person. What are the hidden truths? No, it's usually a little bit longer because I do this spiritual part of the readings, but we're able to fill in the blanks to why your person is acting a certain way and why they feel a certain way now. Because again, if your person's not in contact with you and you feel like they should be, well, they're withdrawn, they're consumed, and they're consumed because someone's consumed with controlling them. And they, again, feel shame and guilt and a lot of other different emotions, but they don't feel well. I'm afraid of commitment. See, like that's what I was saying. Like your person is afraid of commitment because of this relationship, this past relationship that I don't even feel like it's 100% past. They may not be sleeping together. They may not have an emotional connection anymore, but your person is connected to someone that thinks that they own your person, which is why your person's afraid of commitment. Because they get into a relationship with people that want to control them. I don't know what I want. So again, they have feelings for you, but there's part of them, Scorpio, that's like, I don't know, like if I can get into another relationship again. So if your person's been giving you mixed messages, well, this is why. Please forgive me. I feel like again, they do care about you. It's not like they don't. I just feel like their mind is so consumed with what they're going through. I'm not ready. See, it, like all the cards here, I'm afraid of commitment. I'm not ready. Please forgive me. I don't know what I want. They're all consistent, and it's all because of this past relationship, and they are checked out. So if you're not feeling your person, it's because, again, they are detached. They are, again, distracted. They're distracted from you because of what the person is connected to them. Do I think that they think about you? Yes, all the time. I think that they hold a space in their heart for you. Do they have plans to know what they're going to do and how they're going to handle you? No, because they're dealing with this. I want to see what the hidden truths are, and then we'll close it out. What are the hidden truths? Again, what does your person feel that they don't show? I couldn't let you get close to me. Yeah, because of this. Because they're in, like, they're not in a relationship, like in a normal relationship. If I would say that this is a relationship, there's a relationship that's a sham. It's not really a relationship, it's a front. It's like you ever go into a store that they sell like tchotchkes and you say to yourself, no one shops in this store. It's a front. They're like doing something in the back. They're selling drugs in the back. They're doing something illegal in the back, that it's a sham. Well, this relationship, everybody that's close to this couple knows that it's a sham. It looks like a sham, but your person couldn't let you get close to see that someone else owns them, is controlling them. This happens when we've been in a past relationship with someone that we wind up having children with or acquiring assets with, which is why your person can't leave. It's obvious. It's like it doesn't need to even be told within the spread. As they're connected to somebody, but they're connected to somebody that there's no love for, but from your person. However, the person that's connected to them, I don't know if they love them, they just own them. There's almost so much hate and love combined, which is what really is this trauma bond. It's this, I love you, but I hate you. Like your person's, that's your person's person is what I need to call them, is all about reliving her or his childhood, and like creating the same scenario where there's like a narcissist and an empath relationship where one person has all the say and the other person doesn't, that the relationship's held together with shame and guilt, and there's so much pain there that you become addicted to that the highs and lows of the relationship, and that's what your person's in. So they're like, they don't want to live this way, they don't feel comfortable living this way, but it's either that they live like this or they surrender all their power and they live in autopilot, and your person's pretty much living in autopilot, but they're thinking of you, they have feelings for you, they are sorry about how they act, but they're consumed with their own problems. And if they could just get away from that situation, they would be able to think clearer. But that's really what it is. They just couldn't let you get close. I need to be alone for now. I need to make sense of my intense feelings. I don't want to feel this way. Again, your person's not really emotionally intelligent. They're going through a dark night of the soul. It's so traumatic for them. It's like, but because they've been living out of alignment for a long time, they've been connected to someone, again, that it's not really love connection. I'm like looking for that dark night of the soul card. So the dark night of the soul. So they do feel a connection between you and them, and they definitely see the difference between you and them, especially with the person that's gaslighting them. But your person is, still stuck in this past relationship and they're afraid of commitment. They don't really know what they want. Part of them needs to like get their own identity. It's again that's why they couldn't let you get close to them, but they're checked out of reality. You distract them from their reality, but they're withdrawn. They're not really giving to anything. And it's all because of this past relationship. It's just consuming them. But they do have feelings, but they're not ready for any type of commitment. So they won't be coming towards you soon because with this, they don't really know 100% what they want, but they do have feelings and they do want you to forgive them. And I'm going to leave it there, Scorpio. So if you resonated with this, please let me know. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.